It is a known fact in Bollywood that if you want to make a hit movie, you are safer making a romantic movie. People love love stories. The only problem with love stories, though, is not many of them in real life have happy endings like they do in Bollywood. There was a love story brewing in Mohali today where the Punjab Kings were dreaming of pulling off an incredible heist against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. But in the end, they fell agonizingly short by 2 runs, which was the difference between a win and a loss. Heartbreak for Punjab, joy for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sarvesh, at one stage, in that last over with 29 required of 6 balls and Ashutosh Sharma hitting all those couple of sixes of the first 2 balls, you also must have thought that this could be possible.
Yes, it was a again. I felt like we are watching a replay of what happened against GT, because the same two guys, they almost they won it from a position where we thought that game was over, and similar situation today. They again, they were doing the unthinkable, because out of those last 4 overs, Pat Cummins had won, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar had won, and when these two guys, we know, these are seasoned pros, and when they bowl with a lot of control. So, and in those last 4 overs, they wanted something somewhere around 60, somewhere around 64. But despite that, they almost pulled it off. So, so yeah, I mean, again, a very very good and very close game, and sadly, sir, Punjab could not cross the line this time.
Yeah, lots to discuss about this game because it had so many ebbs and flows, so many times the pendulum swinging one way and the other. Uh, and lots from a cricket analyst point of view, such games are really cool because there's so many aspects, that you can think of. Um, you the scorecard there explains to us what exactly happened. Sunrisers Hyderabad batting first, 182 for 9 in their 20 overs. Punjab Kings, as I said, falling short by 2 runs, finishing off on 180 for 6 in their 20. But first things first, Sunrisers had no business getting to 182 for 9, didn't they? Because at
Yeah.
one stage in that 10th over, they were 64 for 4. So they were going at run a ball. They had lost 4 wickets. How did they get to 182?
So a couple of things happened there. So Nitish Kumar Reddy, he actually got a chance today, and he was looking good. And we have seen this often, that these young players are just coming in, and they're performing from game number one, game number two. So it was another case of that. Nitish Kumar Reddy, I felt this was the game, I think, tailor made for him, because the pitch wasn't the easiest. I felt, uh, and when on such pitches, I find that those youngsters who play a lot of domestic cricket, these guys actually have some upper hand, and I think we saw it today. All the performing guys were have played a lot of domestic cricket. Nitish Kumar Reddy, Shashank Singh, Ashutosh Sharma, all these guys, they have been doing it at domestic level. So again, I think it was a game tailor made for them. And Nitish Kumar Reddy 64 from 37. I think that was the difference. I mean, apart from the drop catches, I think his batting was the primary difference maker.
Right at the beginning, Arshdeep Singh and Sam Curran found a lot of
Yeah.
swing and movement from that wicket. So, as you rightly said, batting wasn't the easiest in that power play. But when you look at Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma's strike rates of 140, 145, they actually got off to a decent start even in those conditions. It was that one over where Arshdeep picked up both Head and Aiden Markram,
Yeah.
which kind of changed that whole game. Um, is that I mean, we know how Sunrisers play. They will come, they will go hard, and they'll keep going. And there are times when this approach of theirs can come and bite them in the backside because when you're 64 for 4, you've got two options. You can either buckle down and take your team to 150, or you can just keep going, hell for leather, and like we saw today, you can end up with 182. So, your thoughts on this approach? High risk,
Yeah.
high
High
impact
reward.
approach.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, you rightly pointed out, because uh, with this approach, I think they were, see, if you just look at his this 11 here. Apart from Rahul Tripathi and Henrik Klassen, the entire 11 is can bowl. Travis said we have seen him bowl in Test cricket. Abhishek Sharma bowls left arm spin. Aidan Markram is more than handy off spinner of the ball. Nitish Kumar Reddy is a very good all-round prospect. Bowls 135 around 135 and go bowl seam up. Henrik Klassen and Rahul Tripathi, if you leave the other guys, all these guys can bowl. So, this is not a situation like Rajasthan Royals where they find it difficult to produce those extra overs from, from their top order. So this team, they realize that, even if too many wickets, even if they lose too many wickets, they have that backup. So like today, they could send somebody like a Rahul Tripathi or, or anyone else who can, just give them that additional batting option, so that even if they lose their top order quickly, they can have that cushion from that impact player coming in. So they somewhere down the line in their mind they are clear that they have the batting depth in their team, so they need to go on from the very beginning. So they can afford to approach these games like this.
9 out of those 11 can bowl,
Yeah.
and all 11 can bat, like we saw Unadkat coming and smacking the last ball of the innings for six. So yeah, it's quite a well balanced side. Lots of options with the bat and the ball, like you said. Continuing with our theme from yesterday, because I've got a lot of feedback of people who said they love the fact that we came out with that new format where I question and you answer, and you question and I answer. Um, where has Nitish Kumar Reddy been? You know, he he bats like a dream. He can play all the shots in the book. Then I saw him come and bowl 135 clicks with the ball. A fast bowling, let me correct that. A genuine fast bowling all rounder in India is as rare as hen's teeth. Where has this guy been? Can you tell us a bit more about him?
So he was with Sunrisers, I think, for 1 or 2 years. I think they signed him a couple of years ago. Nitish Kumar Reddy, and there's one more guy in this team, Sanveer Singh. These guys can bowl and bat. Sanveer Singh, he has been performing well in the state league, state T20 league, and Nitish Kumar Reddy, even he had good amount of runs from those leagues, and he had a good Vijay Hazare Trophy this year. So I think these guys they have been there with them, still young guys, and I think they were part of this group. And I think this management has now come to a situation conclusion where they feel that right they have given enough chances to Mayank Agarwal and Rahul Tripathi. They have invested enough in experience. Now it's time to look at the next best option, which is youth. And these guys, and they are not disappointing. So I think Nitish Kumar Reddy was there. I think probably this is the right time because he's still somewhere, he's still around 2021. I think he'll be 21 in some time. So I think he's still very young, and I think this is the right period for him to come in. Maybe last season they must have felt that it could be too early, but I think this is the time. And when you spend some time with any franchise for a couple of years, where you get familiarized with the environment, and then if you come and make your debut, then that helps. So I think it looks like that's the case with Nitish Kumar.
Yeah, we've spoken about the aim or the motto of the IPL being where talent meets opportunity. Brilliant talent. Love his hair also. He's got a good crop of hair on his head. So yeah, I mean, one couple of last questions around this batting performance by SRH. Is Rahul Tripathi the Devdutt Padikkal of SRH? Because we've seen what happens with Devdutt Padikkal, gets shunted up the order, down the
Yeah.
order, and last season he couldn't kind of find a perfect batting spot for himself. Then he gets traded to some other team, and
Yeah.
there also he's kind of having the same issues. Is Rahul Tripathi, because Rahul Tripathi is an absolute, his past record in the IPL is an absolute IPL gun, but just not things not going well for him at the moment.
I mean, Devdutt Padikkal is somebody I think he's not getting used properly because that LSG top order they have Quinton de Kock and Rahul, and in that setup you need somebody who can score quick runs right from ball number one, and Devdutt Padikkal is not good at that because that's not his natural game. If he can play those initial deliveries, he can more than make up for those lost deliveries, and he can then make it into a big 100 like we have seen. But that is not that format, that setup is not there with LSG. With Rahul Tripathi, I feel it's more of a case where I think he hasn't been performing well even in domestic cricket. He used to play for Maharashtra. That top order spot is now gone to Arshin Kulkarni. He is now opening for them, and Rahul Tripathi has moved to Goa. So I think that is also a factor that in domestic cricket his form hasn't been great. He hasn't been scoring those many runs, like he used to do at one point of time. So I think his batting has tapered a bit, and I think in this team Mayank and Rahul Tripathi, they are in a very similar situation that their batting form hasn't been great. Mayank is still getting runs, but not on a consistent basis, but he's still getting run on domestic cricket. But I think these two guys they have started to taper off a bit. So if in such situations, I think it's sometimes you could see them struggle a lot because the situation is already not good, and these guys are struggling. So I think I don't know if it was the right situation to send Rahul Tripathi in. Maybe if they had any other option, they probably would have gone for that. But this move didn't work out.
Yeah. One last comment on the batting performance. If anybody saw the game live, and you saw the last delivery that went
Yeah,
for six,
6.
um, through the hands of Harshal Patel, and at one stage in this game, I was wondering if we are watching a cricket game or a soccer game because the number of times the goalkeeper pushed the ball over the railing,
Yeah,
for a six, was just phenomenal. Happened in the first innings, happened in the second innings. But that last delivery, when that ball went for six, you could just see the frustration
yeah,
on that entire side because Sam Curran was disappointed. He was
yeah,
the bowler. Arshdeep Singh had his hands on his head. Harshal Patel was looking miffed. Shikhar Dhawan, who normally
yeah,
always has a smile on his face, just had that look on his face of
yeah.
feeling that we've let them off the hook here, and
Yes.
the chasing 183 on that wicket, especially when the side was 64 for 4, they just were very disappointed with their efforts.
The score of 182 is probably par at this venue. Punjab probably would have accepted the score before the start of the game,
Yeah.
but after 64.4 for 4, I think they must have felt that nah, this is 25 runs too many. So I think they would have liked to restrict them around 150, 160 mark because these chases then become very comfortable. And I think in this score, that last ball six, you rightly pointed out, I don't understand why Harshal was fielding at long on. Probably, they had the better fielders fielding on the leg side, covering those critical areas. But I think long on is also a very critical fielding position. So especially
I
in
think
these
it was
last
long off
overs.
because it was a left-hander. So Jaydev would not cut the left-hander, so it was long
No,
off.
Jadav Nutkat, he bats. His bats with his right
Oh,
hand. I
he
think.
bats
Yeah, yeah,
right-handed.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. He
yeah,
bites
yeah,
right-handed,
yeah,
bowls left-handed.
yeah.
Jeez, even I'm losing it. Okay, no, you are perfectly right. He was at long on.
Long on. Yeah,
But yeah, that disappointment was just visible, and you just got a feeling that mentally they were a bit cooked, by that effort.
yeah,
Right, quick look at their bowling figures because it's all started really well, for the Punjab Kings in that power play. Kagiso Rabada, Arshdeep Singh, both doing the job there, and Sam Curran. Um, 4 for 29 in 4 overs for Arshdeep Singh. Peaking at the right time, putting his name in the hat for that T20 World Cup selection. He's one of those names that we keep talking about. Is he good enough? Is he not good enough? Should he go? Shouldn't he go?
yeah,
And with Mohammad Shami being unsure of his fitness at this stage,
yeah. He's
um,
not going to make
the
up. I think that's a
yeah,
clear. Yeah, given that he's not going to make up. So I think you rightly said he's one of those names who we are discussing right now. If he should be getting in, and because even the fitness issues are there with Mukesh Kumar. And Harshal Patel is not, he's not in contention right now. His form is not great. So I think Mohammad Siraj's form is not great. So I think if you look at our bowling side, our bowling just our 4 5 fast bowlers, apart from Jasprit Bumrah, I think there are question marks everywhere. Mohammad Siraj, I think he still would make it, but I think apart from these two guys, there is nobody who is nailed on. So you very
yeah.
rightly pointed out, Arshdeep, could be in the reckoning because we saw him not getting picked in last few T20s. After the disappointing performance that he had. But I think he's again showing the promise. His death overs bowling is brilliant. He's new. Today I saw him, getting that typical left-handed shape. Where he was to the left-handers, his balls were holding the line. It was the outswingers were pretty brilliant. It was, and those were enticing. But batters were trying to play drives, but it wasn't coming off. So that kind of a day Ashdeep had, and the wickets that
Yeah.
he took were all the wickets that he took were crucial. And even at the back end, he dismissed all the set batters. So I think Nitish Kumar Reddy and Abdul Samad, those two wickets in that over. I think he turned the game around for them with the new ball. He turned the game around for them, with at the back end. So I think Ashdeep, you could say, probably was the main reason why they restricted SRH to 182 for 9.
One last question on that bowling card for you. Why no Sikandar Raza?
Yeah,
He's an all-rounder in your side, bowls off spin. You've got a couple of left-handers in that top order, Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma, plus a couple of left-handers lower down. So you've got Shahbaz Ahmed, who bats left-handed. Why no? I mean, one reason could be because of the fact that uh, the openers fell quickly. So
yeah,
by the time he would have come into bowl, they were all right-handers.
yes,
But still, when things are not going your way, I think he deserved at least one over
one
to see
over.
what he could do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Completely agree with you there. I think Sikandar Raza's strength is that typical line and length that he bowls. He's not going to spin the ball much. He's going to bowl smartly. He's going to bowl those carom balls, taking it away from the right-handers. So they could have tried him for 1 or 2 overs. He could have bowled those carom balls. Could have asked those questions to batters. You could have asked them to fetch the ball outside off, and then had. I mean, if they could have looked to hit it on the leg side, then probably his carom balls would have been more effective. Could have produced stoppages or catches on the boundary. So I think he had a case to bowl, but I think with these days we see a lot of thinking revolving around the matchups, and we don't see a lot of off spinners bowling to right-handers. So I think that was the thinking. But I think even I agree with you that he probably should have bowled 1 over at least. That would have given them some understanding of what's going on. And even that Harpreet Brah's last over, it went for more than 20. So probably Sikandar Raza bowling that 1 over even for 10 or 15 would have saved them those 5-6 extra runs, and that was the difference.
Yeah, it just seems like there is a rule in the IPL that right arm off spinners cannot bowl to right handers and left arm off spinners cannot bowl to left
Yeah,
left handers.
yeah,
But yeah, hopefully that rule gets changed. Now, Kagiso Rabada, Arshdeep Singh making some giant strides on the wicket takers board
yeah,
because of their performances. As we can see there, Arshdeep Singh in third place on that purple cap leaderboard with 8 wickets so far. That economy rate of 8.73 is slightly on the higher side. But I love the dot ball percentage because he's at 42.7% there,
yeah,
which just shows that he is bowling quite tidily, especially in up the front with
yeah,
the new ball. Rabada in fifth place, which is quite surprising because we keep saying T20 is not his best format and etc etc. But still proving that he's still got the class to kind of
yeah,
make inroads there.
yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect. In response, the Punjab Kings now chasing 183 for victory. Not the ideal start with Johnny Bairstow having a really ugly hack at one. Shikhar Dhawan found it tough going. Just like the earlier innings, the new ball in the second innings also did a bit,
Yeah,
so it was difficult. But one thing I do want to talk about is Bhuvneshwar Kumar because he has. I just feel that he's taken his game to another level now. I saw him bowl a delivery today at 142 kilometers an hour. Um, he's swinging the ball, he is moving it. Plus, he's got the pace. He's got such good lines and lengths. Um, it just goes to show that experience and class are permanent. You cannot replace that.
yes. I mean, you look at when we talk about T20, right now we do not associate even Pat Cummins with this game. And you rightly said, people think that Bhuvneshwar Kumar has probably passed his T20 peak has passed, but he's coming in and running every game and picking up those wickets with the new ball. And this start of the season wasn't great for him, but I think what he's doing right now, he's doing a very good job. especially with this with the new ball and those overs to start with. Even against Mumbai Indians, he went for plenty, but those two overs that he bowled at the back end, I think that derailed that reply from Mumbai Indians. So I think he has got that experience, and he knows how to make full use of that. And now he has Pat Cummins with him, so even that must be helping him. And so these two guys are, if you look at that bowling unit, then these two guys are looking like a proper unit there.
Now, just like the first innings, they were 64 for 4. Punjab Kings were even worse. They were 58 for 4 in 9.1 overs, and then 91 for 5 at one stage in 13.1 overs when Sikandar Raza fell. Um, but just like that first innings, the back end of the innings, once again Shashank Singh comes out, does exactly what he did in the last game. Jitesh comes out, and we know what Jitesh does
Yeah.
every time he bats. And then that name, Ashutosh Sharma, coming out of nowhere again. And people who are reading the scorecard might think, oh, they just lost by 2 runs. But just getting that close was an absolutely like phenomenal effort on their part.
Yes, their top order is again, we have been talking about the top order and their issues with Shikhar Dhawan, Johnny Bairstow. But these guys at batting at number 5, 6, 7, it feels like they are not bothered about what is happening in first 10, 12 overs. They are just coming there, and it looks like they are mentally trained for this kind of a situation where they will have to chase 15, 16 runs and over in last 4, 5 overs, and they are looking, like they are absolutely on the top of their game. It seems that they are prepared to do this game after game, and this is a very rare quality. We don't see people doing this every other game, but I think these guys are looking in great mental space that they are allowing themselves to do this, and then again coming back to their top order. I think it's not working out with Shikhar, Johnny Bairstow, and Prabh Simran. They probably need a settled, or probably need a uh, better batter who's more technical. Probably they will have to look at Atharva Taide, because he is somebody who can bat at number 3, bat in that opener spot. And then it is also not working out with Johnny Bester. So I think they will have to figure out that combination of what they are going to do, because they have Harshal Patel bowling for them. They should probably get another overseas bowler and get a Atharva Taide for Johnny Bairstow. If it's not, they should probably look to give a break to one of their bowlers and get an overseas bowler. So a few changes here and there. But yeah, but the main focal point of those changes should be that top order, which is not looking great at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, people, again, once again, reading the scorecard might feel, looking at strike rates of 87.5, 66.7, 131.8, and 127.3. And then after that, you see 184, 172.7, and 220. It might be just easy to say, well, why didn't they send these guys higher up the order and things would have been fine? But that's now not how cricket works, is it?
Yeah,
Um, they are specialists for a special position, and that is their job, and that is why they come that late in the innings. The job of the top order is to set the game up so that these guys can then come in and finish it. But the problem the Punjab Kings had is the top order didn't do their job, which means
yeah,
these guys had to do a lot more than what they are normally asked to do. And then in those situations, also, the fact that they got them so close
yeah,
is a monumental effort. We've spoken about Riley Russo waiting in the wings for them. That's another option at the top of the order,
yeah, yeah.
because if Johnny Bairstow's, uh, I don't know who else can keep.
Jitesh Sharma
Um,
is
it,
there. Prab
I
Simran
mean,
can keep. Yeah, yeah,
Jitesh is definitely there. So if Johnny Bairstow is not giving them what they need, then
yeah,
Riley Russo is a good, able replacement
yeah,
up the order. And yeah, as you rightly said, maybe Atharva Taide, give Prabh Simran a break. Sometimes a break of 1 or 2 games can really help a player reset himself as well, and that could be the solution for them.
yeah,
Um, Sarvesh, in that last over when they needed 29 of 6 balls,
yeah.
and the first 2 balls went for 6. Did you get flashes of Yash Dayal, because we had another left arm seamer in Jaydev Unadkat bowling? Did you get flashes of Rinku and Yash Dayal
I,
and think maybe this could work out?
I was actually thinking of that MI versus CSK game where Dhoni was smashing Jaydev Unadkat in that last over. I felt that it could actually go go like that. And it was difference of just that one ball, that second last ball. Had that gone for a boundary, I think we would have seen a different result
A
today.
different result.
Yeah, exactly. So I think 29 runs are like in these are not. I mean, if you had 29 runs to defend in your last over, you expect these line bowlers to defend the total. But it looked like that maybe they are 5 or 10, 5, 6 runs short. That was the kind of tempo Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma were going with. So I think full credit to these guys. Even the 29 runs in the last over were looking smallish in front of them.
It's a game of small margins, and pressure can do funny things to a lot of experienced people as well. And that's what I think happened with Jaydev there. But
Yeah,
thankfully for him, got spared of the blues and yeah, managed to pull it off for his side.
yeah,
Right. What does this result? We've already spoken a lot about
yeah,
the bowling
yeah,
with Bhuvi. So if you can maybe
yeah.
look at the points table.
Yes.
Here we have it. So with that victory, Hyderabad now inching on that fifth place, just under Chennai because of the fact of their net run rate. Punjab, on the other hand, 4 points negative net run rate, so still in sixth. Um, but it's not all doom and gloom for
Yeah,
Punjab yet because one win and they will again climb up that ladder as long as they do that.
yeah,
Um, with I mean, we see this with the IPL quite often. Um, when you lose games, you want to make sure you don't lose them by a huge margin. So in
yeah,
that front, Punjab has done well to make sure they've just lost by 2 runs.
yeah,
So that doesn't really change anything for their net run rate. It's the ones when you lose by a massive margin are the ones that you need to watch out for.
yeah.
But I've got one question for you: is it easier in cricket to get over a loss, which is like a massive loss? Or is it easier to get over a game like today's, wherein you've come so close? Which one's more frustrating, a massive loss by 100 runs or a loss by 2 runs when you think, geez, we should have won that?
I think the frustration is more in such games because the difficult ones, which you lose by a huge margin, you normally tend to the players are normally inclined towards taking a break after that, and they just take a day off or they just switch off after that, and they just don't think about that game because nothing has worked out for you. Then why bother thinking about it? So I think that they just switch off and they just think about the next game. But the losses like these one run and 2 run losses, they are somewhere they just stay with you for a couple of days because you would have done most of the things right and you are just a couple of runs away from that victory. So I think these are very frustrating losses. But I think in a tournament like IPL where games are coming thick and fast, I think you have to get over it quickly. And I think that's where the backroom management, and all those condition. Mental health and all those coaches, all those guys, they play a key role that they have to get those guys up and running in a day or two. So I think all those backroom staffs, I think they must be already working on it now.
Perfect. Now, with Kolkata Knight Riders losing yesterday, there remains only one team in
Yeah,
this competition who hasn't yet lost a match, and they are in action tomorrow. Yes, Rajasthan Royals, with 4 wins from 4 games, are going to be taking on um, Gujarat Titans in Jaipur. And we thought we'd add a bit of a a preview about tomorrow's game to our segment as well. Now, one of our listeners and viewers, Aniruddha Joshi, I think is his name, made a suggestion that he loves what we do, but we should also include a bit about what's coming up tomorrow. So, Aniruddha, if you're watching again, and I bet you are, because I hope you subscribe to our channel and you're getting a notification every time a new episode comes out. This one's for you. So, run us through the head-to-heads and other things to watch out for, Sarvesh.
so Rajasthan and GT have won 4 against Rajasthan's 1. And in this game, historically, we have seen that teams batting or teams chasing have won 4 out of last 4 games. So I think both these teams, they like chasing against each other. And the one thing that I wanted to highlight is that look at the average winning margin, and that it sort of tells you that that one game that was that when GT batted first, they won it by a huge margin. And also look at that second metric there, 17.4 was the no 17. They basically the chase was done on an average in 17.4 overs. So these are anything under 18, and you get a feel that the games are not getting close enough. So I think that's the kind of feeling that you have been getting. You can see the chases have been done in 18.1, then a couple of last over chases, then 13.5. So I think as neutral fans, I think we'll be hoping for a much closer game this time, maybe a last over game, and yeah. So this is what we have seen, and the game is in Jaipur. And in Jaipur, in the second picture, you can see what is happening. Again, the average score in the first innings is around 170. Average score batting second is around 157. So you might feel that teams batting first have that advantage, but that's not the case. Batting second have produced 8 wins out of last 14 matches. So 8 out of 14 is not a pretty not a one-sided factor. I think both teams batting first and second. In fact, last 3 matches have been won by teams batting first. So I think it's a very difficult game to predict. I think we are going to have a good game tomorrow.
I've just also noticed one interesting fact on that sheet is that if you look at the player of the matches when they've played in the past has been Rashid Khan, Shimron Hetmeyer, Hardik Pandya, David Miller, Hardik Pandya.
Yeah,
Where is Hardik Pandya? He's not with the Gujarat Titans anymore.
yeah,
David Miller is out
out.
injured. We
Yeah,
don't know whether he's going to be playing. So
and
three of those player of the matches are
yeah,
not going to be in action. Most probably tomorrow.
yes,
But that still leaves Hetmeyer and Rashid Khan in those matches that
yeah.
are going to be playing. Well, that's the story as far as tomorrow is concerned. Sarvesh, any closing comments before we wind up for the day?
Uh, Not too much. I think not too much today. I think we do not have. I read a news that the meeting for the next season it was supposed to happen. I think on 16. I think that is not going to happen. 16 or 18. I think that is not going to happen now. Uh, they were basically going to discuss things about mega auction and retentions and all those things. I think I've read that that is not going to happen next week. So which was scheduled. Now we'll have to wait and see when that meeting will happen. And yeah, I think we should get some news on that maybe in next few weeks.
On the auspicious occasion of Gudi Padwa, we'd like to wish all our viewers a very happy Gudi Padwa. Hope this year is full of health, wealth, prosperity for all of you. But please do make it the same for us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, by following us on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram. Give us feedback, give us comments, and we'll try and inculcate all that feedback that you give us in bettering ourselves and bringing to you a much better episode each and every day. We'll see you tomorrow after the game. It's GT versus RR. Story from today, though, is Sunrisers picking up the points against Punjab. Thank you so much for watching. And as promised, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.